Hey Scrappers, Tom here. We had a question come in where someone read about this thing called rod brass. Not red brass, right? Rod brass. So we wanted to show you what rod brass was, how you could identify it, and where it comes from. So in front of me I have 4 examples of brass. These are regular everyday pieces of brass that you may see, pipings, faucets, things like that, okay? Now, this is rod brass. Now, it looks very similar. If you look at the color differences, they're both yellow. But rod brass is a solid piece of brass that when you look at the crosscut, there's no contamination, there's no solder, there's no paint, there's no any other thing on it except brass. So when you compare it to these other pieces, what do these other pieces have? This has a piece of plastic that's on it. That becomes a contaminant for the brass. This is also going to have a connector here, and these are held by some glue that's inside there. This piece, these are 2 different pieces of plumbing tape. That is a contaminant. So unless you're going to start cleaning these things, these are things that make this different types of material dirty, right? So this is a piece of plastic on the brass. There's a piece here, and then there's a piece here. But when you look at rod brass doesn't have any of that. It's essentially raw brass that comes from the mill or the foundry that goes to a machine shop. So if you're ever doing a clean out, what I've seen before is old machine shops that are retiring, they'll be able to sell rod brass. I've seen it in my grandparents' basement before because they were able to take it. But these are the things that you would look for. So if you ever get a clean out of a machine shop, if you get a clean out of someone's basement where this was a hobby for them, when you find pieces of rod brass, separate them because there's no contaminants, and generally, because this isn't like a raw material, the copper percentage is a little higher than in an everyday brass setting. So check this out again, rod brass, R-O-D, versus red brass, which is more similar to a bronze. But any other questions about rod brass, yellow brass, or any types of metals, let us know below. This way we can answer them.